Well, hello and welcome to another exciting school year here at Clovis Elementary. I'm Chris Penning, your child's fourth grade teacher, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're watching this, that probably means that you weren't able to make it to our back to school night presentation, and that's great. Hopefully we will, though, get a chance to meet in person. And if you ever have any questions or just want to touch bases, feel free to come on by to room 22 and introduce yourself. So let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to be covering in this presentation. Number one will be just an introduction of who I am. We'll also talk about communication and how you can get classroom information, what's going on here in room 22, and how you can just keep informed. Also going to talk about fourth grade curriculum. What are some of the exciting and just really provocative things that we're going to be learning about in fourth grade. Also want to talk about Block C. This is a new thing, obviously, for fourth graders, and they're always really excited because this is our biggest award that we offer here at Clovis Elementary. So there's usually a lot of questions that go with that, and if you do have questions further, please feel free to let me know. Also want to kind of explain what our typical day looks like. We've got a new schedule, got to rise and shine a little earlier than we did before, but I think we're going to do just fine and it's going to be awesome. And then afterwards, there's a few other little things that I want to talk about, but let's just go ahead and get started. Well, as for me, again, my name is Chris Penning. This is my 29th year teaching in Clovis Unified. I've taught everything from 4th, 5th, 6th grade. I even did a little bit of junior high and summer school, which I wouldn't recommend, but I love teaching and I love this district. I've been here at Clovis Elementary since its very beginning, before any of these buildings were built. I was teaching here, and so I've got long-standing roots and really love what I do. I'm married to my wife, Amy. We've been married for 28 years and we have 4 children. Lexi's my oldest at 26 years old. JJ's my youngest daughter at 22. And then I have 2 boys, Andrew, 12, and Thomas, 10. So all the 4 of those kids plus 2 grandkids keep us busy quite a bit. My family, we live in a 105-year-old home in Old Town Clovis. So history is all around us, and I'm a huge history buff. I love our community. I love our school, and it's just part of who we are as a family. 4th grade, of all the grades that I've taught, I got to say 4th grade is the best. Sometimes I almost call it like childhood's last stand, because 4th grades, 9 and 10-year-olds, they love to learn. And as a teacher, these are exactly the people that you want to spend your day with and share what you know and share in the excitement of learning. So great times here at Clovis Elementary. All right, now, one of the things that's important for you to know is that there's several ways where you can get information and just learn about what's going on in the classroom. Number one, I made a classroom website, and you can go there by going to www.penningsclass.com. Now, that website is a place where I'm going to be housing just additional information, supplementary resources, things like that'll be useful to perhaps you, but definitely to our kids. If we're learning something like the Gold Rush, I might put some links or some materials on that website that can be accessed. So that hopefully will be a good resource for families. We'll be using Bloom's as our main source of communication. My class code is HESHJ9. So all you have to do is just download the Bloom's app on your phone, or you can go to blooms.com, type in that class code, and you're automatically set up to receive those messages from me. I have a Google Classroom set up already, and our class code is EEJPVB7. Your kids will be all on Google Classroom. We'll have a lot of assignments that will be assigned through there. And then I'll also be posting some other materials that can be downloaded and used as well. So Google Classroom, just like it was last year, I'm sure for your students, is going to be used a lot this year as well. And then, of course, you can always email me at chrispenning@cusd.com. So that works as well. The other couple of items that are really helpful for you as parents is to know that your child will get a red folder, and I just call it a work folder. The way we use that is everything that your child does in class, whether it's finished or unfinished, goes into that work folder to go home. Okay, if it's not finished, if the assignment isn't finished, it'll go on the left-hand side of the folder. If it is finished, it'll be on the right-hand side of the folder. And really, the idea with that is before your child turns in their work, you get a chance to kind of take a look at things. You get a chance to see what I'm teaching in class, but you're also able to take a look and see the quality of work that your child is going to turn in. And that way, if it's not up to par, and if you want them to redo it, you have that opportunity. So make sure you use that. And then also this year, we will be getting planners. This is something that we use not only in fourth grade, but we use it in fifth, sixth. In fact, it's a lot like what junior high will use as well. So the planners will be a very helpful way for you to know what's going on day by day, and it also helps your students keep organized. Now, let's kind of talk a little bit about what we learn about in fourth grade. Fourth grade is really exciting. We have an amazing curriculum, and I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about that. With reading and language arts, our curriculum is what's called benchmark education. Gone are the days where we have like a reading textbook. When I started teaching, and you as parents probably remember this, you had a big, thick reading textbook, and everything that was going to be taught was there. Well, now we have 10 little textbooks which are consumable. Kids can write in them and underline them, and those little booklets are on 10 different units. Basically, during that time when I'm teaching reading, the students obviously are going to learn how to be better readers. They're going to learn about really rich vocabulary and just see what it takes to learn and to comprehend better what it is that they're reading. Now, we also spend a lot of time looking at quality literature. I'm a big fan of reading, but not just reading anything. I really want to encourage our kids to read quality literature. We have what's called core literature, which means that these are books that all of us in fourth grade are going to be reading. We start off, and in my classroom, we start off with just a beautiful little book called Because of Winn-Dixie. You might have seen the movie, but I want to encourage you to read the book with your child as we're reading it. Save the movie for later, but it's a fantastic and just beautiful story. After Because of Winn-Dixie, we read Island of the Blue Dolphins, an incredible story about survival and adventure. We will also read a story called By the Great Horn Spoon. We read this typically when we're when we're starting to learn a little bit about the gold rush of California. Another exciting, adventurous piece of fiction that is a class favorite year after year. James and the Giant Peach. This book was my favorite book when I was a kid. And I was a reluctant reader as a kid, but I did love James and the Giant Peach. And then towards the end of the year, we'll finish up with a book called Blue Willow, which is another really great story set here in the 1930s. And I say here because it's actually set in the San Joaquin Valley. So there's a lot of familiar things that our kids know about, like the Fresno Fair, downtown Fresno, the San Joaquin River. And so there's a really neat local connection with the book Blue Willow. We'll also read towards Christmas. I don't have this on the list, but towards Christmas time, we'll read The Family Under the Bridge. Really great little story that we'll read before winter break. And then, if we have time, we might at the end of the year read something else as well, perhaps Holes or some other great work. Also, with our reading and language arts block, we will spend a lot of time doing writing. My goal is for your students to write daily. Maybe it's just a paragraph. Maybe it's constructing and taking a good look at how to write a good paragraph, but that we get into a daily practice of working on our writing. So that in a nutshell is what we're going to be doing with language arts. With math, our curriculum, just like it was last year, is iReady. You should be pretty familiar with that by now. We work with whole numbers, algebraic thinking, multi-digit operations, measurements, fractions and decimals, and geometry. And then, as like last year, MyPath is a big part of that. Now, I can't stress enough that to be really successful in math, whether it's fourth grade, fifth, whatever, your child's ability to add, subtract, multiply, and divide is critical. And especially of those four, especially multiplication. It's the most important skill that they could have. To be able to multiply quickly and accurately will just really, really help them along the way. So lots of important topics that we're going to be learning about in math. Now, social studies. Social studies, honestly, is maybe one of the reasons why I just love teaching fourth grade as much as I do. As I said earlier, I'm kind of a history buff, so it would make sense. But let's talk a little bit about what we're going to be learning in social studies. Well, we're going to start off learning about the geography of California, where the forests are, where the deserts are, where the coast is. I'm always surprised how few kids really know just directionally, where's north, where's west, south, east, So we're going to talk about the basics of California geography. From there, we'll go right into learning about the Native Americans of California. We'll learn about some of the explorers that explored California, California missions, the California ranchos, and the Mexican-American War, the Gold Rush, California statehood, the Pony Express, and also the beginning of the Transcontinental Railroad. So lots of great, exciting stuff in social studies that, in years past, this has been one of the subjects that my students just really, really enjoy. I don't know if all states in our union have such a great history as California does, but it really is an amazing and just fast-paced history. And then finally, science. I can't say too much about what we're going to be doing in science yet because we're getting new curriculum. And so I'm really excited for that to be coming. I've previewed a little bit of it, and I think your kids are going to love it. There's lots of hands-on experimentation, which we really didn't have too much of before. And I think it's just going to be it's going to be something that your kids are really going to look forward to seeing. Now, I wanted to talk about, let's go back to that. I wanted to talk about Block C. Block C, as I stated before, Block C is the biggest award that we have here at Clovis Elementary. It is kind of all about the mind, body, and spirit. It's a semesterly award, so that means that we will have a Block C award on the first semester, and then we'll have a big ceremony at the end of the second semester. And for fourth graders, if they're receiving Block C, they will receive a beautiful plaque with their name on it, and they'll have a little medallion that will be stuck on the corner of the plaque. And every semester that they get Block C, after that, they get another medallion that they can add to their plaque. So by the time they're done with their elementary school career here at Clovis Elementary, they could have 6 medallions on that plaque, and they're pretty excited. So how do we get Block C? Let's go through this. All right. Well, first of all, there's an academic component to this. Your student would need all A's and B's. Okay. Now, if they have all B's, that's fine. They still qualify for Block C. They just can't have any C's and obviously no D's or F's, but so just all A's and B's on report cards. The other thing is, and this is the thing that typically gets kids out of contention when it comes to getting a Block C award, is AR. So we're going to be doing AR again this year, and to receive Block C, fourth graders need to get 16 points per quarter. Okay, and that's really important to know that it's 16 points per quarter. So don't think that, I don't want the kids to think that, well, I don't need to get very many points on the first quarter just so long as I make up for it on the second. No, it doesn't work that way. We need to have 16 points per quarter. Okay, that's really important. And then obviously we can't have also any office referrals or suspensions. So they've got to be in good standing when it comes to their personal responsibility as well. Okay, let's go down to the body part. This is the health and fitness section. This is great for fourth graders. They get so excited because they get to be on a team for the first time for some of them. For fourth grade, the first thing that they can sign up for, the only thing that they actually can sign up for is cross country, and which is great because cross country gets them in shape for the rest of the school year. So if your student likes to run, or even if they don't like to run, it's still a fun thing. I ran cross country in high school. I was not a gifted distance runner at all, but I remember I had some great times during that time of my life. And so cross country is something that they really look forward to, and they just get so excited about when they have their first meet. Later on throughout the year, wrestling is also available for fourth grade, and then there's also track and field at the very end of the year that they can do as well. Also there is cheerleading. If anybody is interested in being part of the cheer team, which probably would be already on by now, that's an option for fourth graders as well. So for fourth grade, we need if anybody's going to receive Block C, they need to have one of those items checked there. So they've got to be in some type of sport. Now, it might be that your student is already involved in a sport that might not have anything to do with Clovis Elementary. For example, maybe your student does jujitsu or ballet or tennis or whatever. That's fine too. That's what we call our outside involvement. And so if your student's involved with something outside of what we offer here at Clovis Elementary, talk to me and I can explain a little bit about how your student can get credit for that. Okay, let's go over to, let me move myself here, and let's talk about the spirit category. With spirit category, again, fourth graders are going to need to do one item here. We always have a great drama presentations here with our school play. That's something that your student can do, and it doesn't mean that they have to have a lead role or anything. They could have minor roles too, and that's all it takes to get credit for drama. Human relations, mediator, mentors, these are great things for students to be part of, because with mediator mentors, for example, our students are going to learn about conflict resolution, how they can help in resolving conflict out on the playground. And the real beauty in all of that is that not only are they helping others resolve their conflicts, but they are able to resolve their own conflicts as well. I mean, the skills they learn in Mediator Mentors is excellent, and I totally recommend that. Student council is something that I really would love some of our leaders to rise to. This is where our student the members of our student council who are voted on and who are elected to serve for a semester will come together and get to help in the decision making of what goes on here on campus. So if your student has some maybe leadership potential, student council might be for them. Library monitor is, it's a pretty simple and fun thing, especially for those students who love books, who love maybe organization. This is a perfect opportunity for them. So if they're interested in being a library tech, contact Mrs. Henson over there in the library. Science fair, I believe, is just for 5th and 6th graders. But going down to History Day, I teach History Day. Surprise, surprise. I teach History Day, and History Day is a fantastic experience for our kids, where they create what it's almost like a science fair board, but it's on a historical event of some sort. And so History Day is fantastic. If your student likes history, or maybe is just really interested in one specific part of history, whether it's fairly current history or history pretty far in the past, this might be something that they would be interested in. So if you have further questions with Block C, don't feel free to let me know. I know I'm kind of going through this pretty quickly, but I'm here for you if you have any further questions. Okay, so just real fast, let's take a look at what our typical day looks like. Bell rings at 7:45 this year. That's early. We'll do our Pledge of Allegiance at 7:50. We'll turn in yesterday's assignments, and we have what's called bell work, which will be on their desks before they come in. Bell work is usually like a math assignment. It could be reading, it could be language, but 9 out of 10 times it's probably based on something that we're learning about in math as enrichment. But bell work will be there. And then we also have a language 5 a day that we'll do each and every day except for Friday as well. After that, at 8:10, we're going to be doing Positivity Project. Once again, we've done this now for the last few years. I really like this short time in our day because we're able to talk about just, awesome things, what things, the qualities, the character traits of successful people, things like prudence and perseverance and enthusiasm and creativity, just, parts of what make us who we are. And it always causes the kids to reflect on, well, maybe I'm really strong with this, but maybe I need to improve in this category. So Positivity Project is a really fun part of our day. We have math at 8:25, and then at 10:05 we'll have our morning recess, and then at 10:25 we do our reading and language arts block. Lunch is at 11:40 to 12:30. When we come in, we usually have a little bit of silent reading. That's also a time when we'll be doing some iReady My Path. You remember that from last year. And then we'll also do some work with grammar, usually right after lunch as well. At 1:15, we'll be doing either social studies or science. Not very often do we do both in the same day, so it'll be either one or the other. We're going to be starting out with a lot of social studies until we get our science curriculum, which is supposedly on its way. And then towards the end of the day at 2:05, we fill out our planners, we clean up our classroom, we organize our desks, we make sure that we have everything in place so that when we get back to school the next day, we're good to go and we're starting off on the right foot. And then at 2:10, we have PE. All right. And then finally at 2:40, our school day ends. And that's really exciting. I mean, we get out earlier than we did before. Can't really see this down here at the bottom, but it does say that to be announced, we'll have our library time, which I believe is going to be Thursday afternoons in the library. And then also we're going to be working with book buddies. We're book buddies with a first grade classroom. So that'll probably be a Friday or something like that. Okay. Other items I just wanted to talk about real fast. Parent Connect. If you don't know how to do Parent Connect, or maybe you did and you just, it's one of those things. I know for me, if I'm not doing something like that daily, I kind of forget how to do it. If you need some help, contact the office or contact myself. But Parent Connect is fantastic, which is where you can go online and you can see how your students are doing. You don't need to wait until we send progress reports or anything like that, because by then it's usually too late anyway. So Parent Connect is a fantastic way for you to keep up to date as to your child's progress. Also, just wanted to talk about the parking lot. You know how crazy it is before and after school there. So my recommendation when you're going to pick up your child is to either get there a little early or get there maybe a little 5 or so minutes late and give time for the traffic to clear out. Usually it doesn't take much longer than that, but parking lot is what it is. It's been like this for a long time. Also, this year we are looking for parent volunteers. Okay, I am looking for parent volunteers. If you are interested in helping out in the classroom, and maybe that's grading some papers, or maybe it's working with a small group, or maybe it's running to the teacher center for me, or whatever it is, I welcome the help. So see me if you are interested in being a parent volunteer, and I'll let you know what it is that you need to do. Also, with that, kind of related to it, is room parent. It's been a long time since I've had a parent step up and say, I will take care of your parties and anything else that you need. So if that's you, if that's kind of in your wheelhouse, that you like to organize those things, please see me, because I would love to turn that over to you and help make this a special these certain events special times for our kids. And then finally, I also wanted to talk about a program that our national parks have for fourth graders. You have a fourth grader, right? And only for fourth grade, the Department of the Interior, I believe, has a program called Every Kid in a Park. And what you get is a pass that allows you and your family to go into any national, and I believe, well, at least national park and waterways absolutely free. And this is throughout the entire country. So, I mean, you can go to the Grand Canyon and get in there for free. You can go to Yosemite, the Sequoias, for free. You can go up to Crater Lake, and that's free. A pass like this, if you were to buy it, is going to be at least, I believe, $100, and you get it for free. So I'll send out some information probably at the very beginning of September. And the good thing is that pass will be good for an entire year. So you'll be able to use it all through next summer, all the way until August 31st. So anyway, hopefully you'll take great advantage of that, because this country's got some beautiful sights to see, and you get to look at some of them for free. All right, well, that's pretty much all that I had for you today. I know you probably have some questions, and if you do, feel free to swing by my classroom either before or after school. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to our year together.